Alleyway.
Alright. Hey everybody, this is Sinspeaks, and welcome to another episode of RWBY. I believe we called it Thief's Wit, unless Corn has a better idea for a name of this.
Well, Ron's involved, so maybe Thief's Twit.
That works too, honestly.
I like wit more than twit, thank you.
Yeah,
What about the
you
thief's
gotta
twat?
avoid the...
These what?
The thief's twat.
It's even worse.
Pretty sure that's actually a curse word in British slang.
Exactly, that's the
It's
point.
even worse. But anyways, so today we're gonna be doing...
Hey, it could be worse. We could call it the Dark Star.
I don't know, because the villains
could be
already have
ancient.
dark in their name. I think it was Dark
Are
Shadow.
they afraid of
You
being
don't
called the Dark Ring?
Anyways, yeah, we're Fellowship of the
Dark
Ring
Star
now.
Also, it's the same thing. So.
So this is the first 6 months. Well, if you guys looked at the other video that we released, should be episode 1 of the time lapse. We watched Ron, Lilith, and Fire go through there for a full 6 months. And so during that period of time, this is taking the exact same point, essentially, exact same period of time. But we're looking at Corin and Waris's time. Since both of them were in the intro video, they essentially just got thrown into this world. And they've...
Buck decided that he didn't really need to listen, so he just sprinted his way into the next world, and for other complicated reasons, Kane got the entire gist of it all in his first jump. Not from Jumpchain, though.
Yeah, which I think I explained in the intro video, probably.
Oh, well, shoot, you probably should have told me that. Here I am being secretive about how, yeah, Kane freaking used to work for RWBY before he got shifted.
He used to be a
Punk.
villain, and then he
Also-
failed at being a villain so unbelievably hard, he became a hero. It's kind of impressive.
Oh, also, can I just say something? Erebus looks like he's straight out of Devil May Cry.
The one I used for Erebus, because you didn't see it, is this.
Oh,
What? Where?
right.
So,
That is literally from Devil May Cry.
I don't think it
What
is.
am I,
I had a
what am I supposed to be
feeling.
looking at?
It's in the center of the screen. On roll 20.
I don't.
It's in the center of the... Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
looks
think it's
like
from Devil May
No,
Cry.
I wanna
no,
say
that wasn't what I thought it was. Oh, there.
Yeah, which ones don't go with business.
Yeah, that looks like a Devil May Cry character.
I don't remember.
Still,
that is a Devil May Cry. Good. I had a
Yeah, I
feeling.
don't remember.
makes sense, all things considered. Erebus has a flash for the
Yeah.
dramatic.
Yeah, which is nice. But anyways.
I mean, and granted, the Devil May Cry guys were technically gods.
Yeah, I don't know where it was from or the name of it, but
Wow, ice cold pizza tastes good. Tastes surprisingly good.
okay, that's
Eh,
horrifying.
Depends on how hungry you are.
I'm very hungry for pizza right now.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's not really ice cold. It's more like a room temperature.
Oh, okay, that's better. But anyways, so we're gonna look at the first 6 months of them. Corin, describe your character for me.
Physically, emotionally,
fine.
psychologically.
I'll let Waris give the template.
And sexual.
I'll let Waris give template. Waris, describe your character.
Angry. Physically, no armor. You notice that he's kind of lives with a scowl.
And apparently he's very tall.
Buck is 6 foot.
So
This
tall,
is
in fact,
just
that
to
they
show
need
you
to build
guys
the 3
what it
walls
looks like.
to come out.
Alright, so broad shoulders, no armor, very light on his feet, even though he's, got a metallic leg. Buttons
That's the point.
up the wazoo.
I
Legitimately
love, it's
broad.
light on his foot.
Look,
Also,
he can
his
use
other
his
foot
metal
kind of
leg.
looks like a hoof.
Oh.
It's
Not gonna lie.
It's based upon running legs. Or running...
The running blades.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
They're pretty rad.
I mean, like his normal foot
Oh.
looks like a hoof.
His normal one?
No,
Perspective
It's
is weird.
because of the angle that you drew it at. Because I can tell that it's supposed to be facing to the to us. So for the way it looks, it's just that when you look at it like it is, first thing that came to my mind is like, hey, that's a hoof.
It's
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I see it, but
It's a
okay.
question of perspective.
Anyways, continue.
Now you'll never unsee it.
Alright. Generally speaking, kind of medium-sized deer, very broad shoulders, much bigger than your average faunus.
Mhm.
Except he's not a faunus; he's a human, who just so happens to be kind of unlucky.
Who for some reason has bat.
Those are panther, but he colors them because of.
Oh,
reasons.
panther. Huh.
You'll see when you go through why they have color.
I don't know why, but I always thought that he was a bat because of his face.
He's just
Especially
pissed.
in that one picture. Even you admit that. Yeah, he kind of looks like a bat.
Yes, but he's also extremely pissed off. So there's that to consider.
I mean, wouldn't you be when since you had to suffer with me throughout the very beginning of this series?
Yes.
That is very fair. Alright, so Corn, describe your character. Let me just flip him over here because he decided to flip him for some reason.
Yeah, let's look at that beautiful. Let's look at that beautiful girl.
Eh.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the whole girl thing,
Oh,
but hey,
Really?
Yeah.
You really don't see it.
I
see it.
kind of see it, but not really.
But
There you
also
go.
remember, my guy's in a complete idiot. So
That's fair.
that's fair. I forgot to account for the infinite capacity of foolishness.
yep.
Anyways, so continue.
Okay. Characters, I don't know, pretty short, all things considered. High speed, more focused on high speed movement. As you can clearly see, the outfit itself is more inspired by the Eastern setup than most others. I think you covered in his. Did you touch on the? Or has nothing been said about my character's backstory?
Nothing's been said about your character's backstory.
Nothing's been
Nothing
said about either of you guys. So
You guys are completely.
my guy didn't have anything
There's
to
a
say
bug on
because
my arm.
people already know his backstory.
Yeah, Buck's backstory's just kind of been shown throughout the series, more or less.
Yeah. Same for mine. It's like I'm just a guy that was taken from Earth, dropped in, and he was.
Yeah, nothing has been said about either of you two's backstories for this world. This is the first time
Oh,
we're looking
yeah.
at you guys as characters.
He's short, he's high speed, and his form is designed for agility. I don't have anything else to add to that.
Okay.
What am I supposed to add to that?
I don't know. That's.
Like, who is he? What is he?
Well, no,
Oh, I
that
thought we were
we're
doing
gonna figure that out when it happens.
Oh yeah, you're about to do that. Okay.
yeah, we
I
yeah.
guess
basically I was going off
Oh,
the
yeah,
Bucks template there, so
Yeah.
I think you touched on all the parts.
That's the starting point.
who is your daddy and what does he do?
We will figure that out. But anyways, so first month, or first week, I guess, you actually are not from Vale. You're actually from Mistral, which if you guys
Don't tell my team.
Huh?
Don't tell my team. My team is not supposed to. Well, actually, no. The only person who's supposed to know is Buck.
Yeah, but that's for the viewers.
guys,
So originally
Buck's
he was
your
on
partner-
Mistral,
he's your partner in
which
crime.
this is what it looks like for those of you. If you guys want to see more of this thing, look at the
The only
villains.
person who's supposed to know is Buck. He said before he started explaining everything to Ron. But hey, whatevs. Suck it.
Ron doesn't know in character, so. But anyways, if you guys want to see more of
Yeah.
this world, more of this continent, go check out the villains world, villains series, and you guys will get to see what that looks like more in detail.
Yeah, week one was just. Oh god, what did I call him? Mako.
Mako.
Yeah. Mako.
Makuhita?
Mako something.
Mako.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Mako.
Mako? Okay.
So.
Makuhita.
So week one was basically Mako
Oh, no.
finding a way to eat himself out of all.
Mhm.
Reasons are complicated, detailed, and I'm not going into them. Just the base gist of it is by the end of week one, he arrives in Sonus in a city to the upper east, northeast, whatever.
Mhm.
This place.
And that place
Here?
is.
Here?
What?
Oh, that
Here.
place?
I thought it was there.
There you
It's where he starts.
go. Okay.
Majority of that week is spent setting up some pretty important factors. For example, Silverbird. Remember how I took disguises as a skill?
Mhm.
Yeah. Basically, I'm creating an alter ego named Silverberg who's going to become semi-competent as a criminal.
Neat.
Yay!
Me,
Now-
I have disguises, but I'm using it in the most practical sense. Like, what's up with the fire at the skirt?
you guys want to see more of that, go check out the previous video. But anyways, so yeah, so you spent about.
Problem is that week two is 1,500 words long. Sin. How am I supposed to go over this entire thing without just flat out reading the whole thing?
You compress it
You might as
down.
well just flat out read the whole.
Well,
Why should he?
You get
He worked hard on
you
this.
give
and...
you give a an idea what it's like, what happens. You know.
okay, then I'll start by covering week 2, day 1, this Sunday. Arriving on.
God.
Do you think I didn't write this out individually, day by day, for the
It's
first?
short
It's
form.
it's like an actual journal.
Yeah, you actually did write the
Yeah.
entire
Like,
thing
you're
out.
just reading his.
Okay, it took me like
6,342
3 hours
words.
to get through the entire thing. It's just a short version, okay, like a short-handed version.
Maybe you forgot, guys.
3 hours just for the
Freaking
short
crazy.
Alright,
version.
fine. You want me to do it? I could just
Oh,
read
God,
it
I
and
need-
then.
I need something.
Nah. The basic gist of
I'll
it
be right
is, okay. So I'm gonna totally
Anson said he'd be right back. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
just as I'm about ready to begin. I see how it is.
To be fair, it's probably likely that he was called.
Oh yeah, no, it's almost guaranteed there.
It's almost like, yeah.
So you
Gonna eat some
legitimately
gum.
wrote out for every day in detail.
Well, for the first few weeks, it's every day, but after that, it just turned into a weekly section because I couldn't write out every
And
individual
then it
day for
became
every month.
monthly.
Yeah, for each for the first 3 weeks, it's a day by day format, and then after that, all the way up until meeting with Walrus, it's a week by week. After meeting with Walrus, it's month by month.
Yeah, because you can't keep up with my
I'm
shenanigans.
back, sorry.
No problem.
Alright, where were we?
Okay, let me just scroll back to, I think I have 9 pages up. Okay, here we go. Back on week 2.
Mm-hmm.
9 pages. Holy shit.
There's a lot
Well,
on there.
yeah, I went more than halfway down.
So just
Uh,
shorten.
Okay, fine. Short version is that
Yeah.
arriving at Honest was uncomfortable for the person that the jumper used to be, but super comfortable for the jumper himself. Because as you know, the whole backstory thing, it mingles multiple personalities.
Mhm.
And the jumper has spent all of his jumps thus far spending all of his time in the woods or his damp cave of friends. So, step 1 was getting to Vale proper, but first off, grim, dangerous. And secondly, a fair bit of actual communication with the villains and the like. The day is mostly spent figuring out where everything is before waiting until pubbing hour. A couple glide words, some cash, a few whispers on incoming Mistrali shipments, and there are a couple people drinking away his money, and he's made a couple of friends. At that point, everyone now knows of the Mistrali runaway Silverberg, who's looking for lackeys and muscle. And my roguish skill set grants me a silver tongue. That's
Nice.
Yep, that is Sunday. Monday,
We're
basically.
gonna need that because I'll be fucking up every single conversation I have.
I don't think a tongue of quicksilver could fix even a fraction of that, my dude. But I'll try.
Nothing can fix Ron.
Jesus.
So
Nope.
Monday,
and that's why he's the best character in my opinion.
Monday is spent interacting with a lot of elements. This is an area that directly connects to Mistral, so it's basically him working jobs for the local extra-legal entities, meeting with the Oyabun, running around the Akasen, complicated stuff where he's basically doing a couple of deals and basically has to, let's see, what was this? Ah, yes. Find some questionably stable dust crystals and get them, basically.
Mm.
Once they figure out who's doing all of the weird business in this area, it turns out to be freaking Roman Torchwood. Me listening to this.
There you go.
63.9.
It's a face.
Ah.
Oh yeah, it's
The 6 and the 9 are eyes, and the 3.
Okay. Continue.
You got some messed up eyes, bruh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm listening to this and I'm like, "Burp, burp, 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 burp."
Well,
I have
turns
no idea.
out,
I have no idea what you're saying, and I'm just sitting here like,
So as it ends up turning out, Torchwick has been doing some business inside of the town, and Silverberg just, well, he's supposed to retreat alongside the other workers before instead he basically chats up Torchwick in the middle of the operation. Doesn't really end well, but hey, he talks to people.
No, why not?
Technically speaking, that section there is almost 600 words, so I'm not going to go into the exact details. Sin knows what's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
could
at
just
this
say
point,
it quickly.
we need to just you should just release it as the book that it is.
It shrinks. It's only 16 pages right now.
Put it.
Tactful.
It definitely puts it in.
I was gonna say something, but then my gas attacked.
But anyway, so
Everything
I believe you
changed
talked
when
with Torchwick. I get through a little bit of communication.
Talking with Torchwick. Tuesday was just running messages for the Oyabun, running around, and basically just getting connections. Wednesday, second verse, same as the first, but, you know, just getting ready to head over to Vale. Thanks to working for the Oyabun, he can afford to basically get a bullhead that'll take him down to, which will let him go, you know, down there. Most of the time spent with Gyro, though, or Gyro, my weapon, and while inside of the bullhead, aiming out the open back and sniping Nevermores for fun. Turns out that birds are weak to anti-tank rounds. Who'd thunk it?
You don't say.
Yep.
Could you send me
Thursdays
that file
spent again?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I don't know how you lost it.
Don't know.
And he has way too much on his computer and doesn't organize well enough.
I mean, good Lord, I actually need to find where I put it.
Maybe neither one of you organized well enough.
Alright, keep going.
I mean, have you seen his desktop? Have you seen it?
Mine's worse. I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about. Sin messaging.
Damn, that's a sexy God of War.
Good to know you're looking up porn, Ron.
Of course, what else would I be doing?
There. Sent it to Sin. Where was I?
Second.
Right. I was on Thursday. Thursday, it's getting to the bar. I own a bar, by the way, thanks to my character sheet. So, it's best described as a hive of scum and villainy. And not just because of the folk that frequent it, it's just not in great shape. A couple orders are put into place.
Star Wars.
Yep. And eventually the place is rebranded. Clearly it's still under construction, and a fair few criminals are still going to be coming around even while it's under construction. And now it is time to spread the word about the newly rebranded Get Some Sip Bar.
Don't ask.
Friday, another day, another adventure, hunting Grim, and unfortunately learning that the grimoire that I possess seems to purr the more Grim I get.
Purr?
Yep.
Okay. It's basically
the
a book.
grimoire starts purring. Yeah. So, maintaining the disguise of Silverberg, spreading the word, some extra legal engagement. Friday's another day just spent figuring things out. Saturday, Silverberg performs his first job as a consulting, in the sense that he overheard an idiot talking about their criminal plan in the middle of his hive of scum and villainy, and basically, well, let's see. To give the exact quote, overhearing information about the entire operation had left an itch in the back of his head, as the person discussing his bar had performed no less than 6 critical errors, such as talking about it loud enough for you to be heard, you dumb fuck. So, Silverberg commandeered the job, simple fast robbery of a serial robber, and it all goes pretty well, and ends up getting him an underling, a woman named Bernadette, who absolutely preferred the term lieutenant to underling, but Mako would just completely forget her everything. Mako would just forget about her repeatedly. Let's see. Sunday of week 3 begins. I don't know. She's a bartender now. trying to awaken the aura. No new crimes worth noting. Just Argyros Hyde is a goddamn menace to the Grimm population, and if I had a freaking bounty license and had bought it with CP, my character would be even richer.
Jesus.
He established, after continuing around being a consulting criminal for idiots and people who just legitimately needed help, he ends up teaching a lot of the criminals the way of the gentleman thief. Rule number 1, don't be a dick. Rule number 2, don't be an idiot. Rule number 3, don't be a traitor. It's, Overall, a lot of the people who start frequenting Get Some Sips start following these rules, not because it's nice or good, but because it means that they're better than the lesser criminals who have. They're actually just as classless, but hey, as long as they think they're better than everyone else, it's fine.
So you're in
Only
Vale
good Grimm
at
is
this
a dead
point,
Grimm,
right?
and oh yeah, no, I moved my dude to Vale
Okay.
already.
Just make sure.
Week 3. See, killing Grimm, shooting Grimm, killing Grimm. New lieutenants have been recruited by Bernadette, and on Friday of that week, he ends up memorizing their names because, he was supposed to beat them into submission to prevent them from ever joining him, and then they stayed anyway. They may have actually given up had he not held back quite as much. Cyril was barely bleeding by the end of the day, and Haley only vomited once.
He's kinda crazy.
Gil was taken to a back alley doctor to get a good amount of the skin of his forearm reattached, and Bernadette was pretty fine. Despite everything, they stuck together. Mako wanted to ask why, and the personality of the one that was said, "Stab her." She let down her guard. He settled on attempting to stab her and asking her why she was doing this, so she explained her tragic backstory, trademark, on the way to the dock. I'm not going to go into that.
Mm-hmm.
The lieutenants continue being idiots, but at least they're cautious. Gil can't use an arm, Sarah looks pale, Haley looks ready to have bolts, and Bernadette is there. She just brought snacks. And even older than the jump from a time decades ago, a part of the jumper was reminded of the ancient rules. If they gave you free food, then they're good civilization.
Why do I feel like that's a connection to Buck in a sense?
Hey, free food, my dude. Free food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then it's week 4, and we exit day by day for Matt. Let's see. Yeah, we're at page 7 of the document.
See, things can go quickly. It's only been 50 minutes.
You're a monster, Sin. You're a monster. But don't worry, we're almost finished with month 1.
It goes quickly. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah. The week was spent with more consulting criminal jobs, some spying jobs, getting some untested spyware on small business scrolls, just to see how it works. A little immoral, but it's not like it was hurting anyone. And it's not like the employer said he couldn't send all that information to his own scroll. Yes, that's illegal. But, easily pawned off missions to some lieutenants, and almost getting caught by a team of first-year hunters, which was absolutely shameful. It's only thanks to Gil's quick thinking that kept Silverberg from getting caught as he finished up a mission. Still, the fact that he almost got caught by Coco Adele and Velvet Scarlatina was, oh boy, not great. Lieutenants weren't the only ones in need of training.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the repairs on the bars were finished, caused patronage to go up, more jobs are being given round, and it's time for the next stage of the operation as month 2 begins. He starts learning to use the grimoire and still cannot use his aura because he still has no freaking clue how to get anyone to open it up for him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, means that it's a damn good thing that he's got a ranged weapon, otherwise an Ursa's claws would literally carve through his internal organs in one blow instead of being able to take a hit.
Not pleasant.
Yep. And that's around when things get complicated as week 6 begins. At some level, he knew that Ozpin was keeping an eye on him. Month in his territory, it's no surprise. The surprise was when Ozpin came up to him while he was lined up on an Ursa in clearing a mile out. He missed. Conversation was strained, and Mako made sure that, he wasn't in Vale to cause trouble. He just left a bad scene and came to try and make a better future. Which is 100% true. Fuck you, fight me. Ultimately, Osmond leaving with some cryptic comments about being careful about the future he seeks to create, and offering a place at Beacon if he's so inclined. Freaking weirdo. The lieutenant spent the entire week on edge, unsure of when they were going to get attacked by their boss for training, not realizing that he literally forgot about them for the entire week. Almost missed a consulting job, but Bernadette almost stabbed him in the chest as a casual reminder of his duties, and he was thankful for that. The next week is spent working on a job alongside, of all people, Roman Torchwick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they almost quit the job because Torchwick was kind of being a total dick about it, and that's violation of rule number 1. But ditching your confidants is a violation of rule number 3, so there's a complicated little thing. They give Torchwick information that helps him complete a robbery of some nearby dust store, but in exchange, Mako spends his time assisting that business. Ends up getting himself into a nice little position where he helps the business start growing after the robbery, which is pretty great. That's how he gains technical control of Dust to Dust. Now, the only problem to all of this was a certain dusty old crow. As it turns out, if you open up a very successful bar in Vale, you will get Crow to come take a visit. So, yeah, when Crow first made an appearance at Get Some Sip, Mako nearly had a heart attack. In disguise, he was almost certain he would have.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Crow specifically requested that silver guy would come out for a chat, beginning with the line, "Aren't you a bit young to be a criminal mastermind?" and other jokes of that sort. Mako calmly played dumb, pretending that he had no idea what Crow was referring to, and ultimately just getting 2 warnings. First was to keep his nose clean, and the second, stock up some stronger drinks, because if they were going to keep serving him that weak shit, he was going to drink the place dry before getting buzzed. So yeah, don't mess with Crow. Fortunately, now that week 8 was finally coming to a close at the end of the 2nd month, Haley finally found someone who was able to activate people's aura. And while they would only do it for her, she could learn to awaken someone else's. On top of that, another piece of good news. Dust to Dust finally secured its first shipment. Surprisingly, working in a completely legal business was way harder than dealing with the illegal one. Paperwork up the wazoo.
My guess is Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you're good. What was that?
But I was saying, like, I could just hear the quotations of the legal business.
Oh no, this one's entirely legal. It's the one that he helped Torchwick render almost useless. Yeah. So he swept in and was like, "Hey, I know you just got stolen from, but what if I gave you a huge number of funds to make up for that? All it'll be is that you'll owe me, and I'll own a part of the business. It's win-win." And yeah. Pretty sure that's immoral,
It's illegal,
but
illegal.
successful. Surprisingly, Bernadette knew a lot more about tax law than anyone expected, and Gil was able to work with local businesses, a whole bunch of complicated stuff. Weapons shop was forced to downsize, and it became a dust shop, Dust to Dust, that ultimately doubled as another shop. Year shifts, mainly because Mako is highly skilled when it comes to all mecha shift weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
Check my character sheet, guys. It's all in there.
That'll be in the description below if you guys want to check it out.
Yep. So basically, Mako starts doing weapons maintenance on anyone who will come to him, which starts to include a fair number of Beacon Academy students, including Team Coffee. Their first years and all that. But, since Mako's memory is so faulty and never to be trusted, he obviously made sure that to make schematics for every single weapon that was brought to him. It's not stealing the intellectual property of their weapons, it's making sure he can do adequate repairs next time. Definitely just that. In any case, a fair amount of stuff ends up going along, darker side of the organization comes up, and someone starts calling for a consulting criminal. But the problem is that this is a crime that he is not willing to tolerate. Murder. challenge was not stopping the murder, though. It was in assisting the would-be murderer, getting paid for said assistance, getting the murderer caught without any harm coming to the victim, and not having the authorities come after Silverberg. Let's see. How did I describe it? Only a few hundred words. Ultimately, it can be encapsulated in the within the single paragraph, because I'm not reading all that. What's the guy gonna say? Someone pretended to be a child prodigy consulting criminal and took away half of my murder money before betraying me, turning me into the popo, and revealing they were never a child at all? Or maybe he'll say it was an elaborate scheme on the part of a 16-year-old bar-running criminal, and that Silverberg purposely led him astray. It was the first one, and the police laughed at him. So yeah, that was basically the majority of the first 3 months before leading into the last week of it. Lieutenants are more capable than ever, each running a different part of the operation. Cyril, oh god, it just occurred to me, no one's going to have any clue who the heck I'm talking about. I've just been reciting these people's names this entire time, and none of you pointed out that I didn't explain anything about who these guys are.
Well, you didn't point out
explained
anything.
Your lieutenants, and each one deals with a different... Well, actually, I know that each one deals with a different section of your business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guy Cyril is working on security.
Pictures for them by any chance?
No.
All right. We're
dude, I'm a writer, not an artist.
Here we go.
No matter how
Let's
many
go
times
with,
I try to do more.
That.
Did you really have to make it the color of bloody stool?
C E. Wait, is that how you spell it? Yeah, R U
that
R
Sin.
U
Sin.
Sin.
That's not an E.
All right, let's just continue this.
Yeah.
Just ignore Sin's bad art.
So it's the 4 lieutenants. Cyril runs security, basically picking up people off streets or wherever you can find really low, like people who will take very little money and still work hard. Starts employing them as security, and basically just is like, hey, give us protection money and we will literally protect you. You know, pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Bernadette handles all of the legal parts of the bar, with Gil handling the extra legal elements, while Haley is training up to give everyone enough aura and also functioning as the unofficial mascot of Get Some Sip. Mako's semblance was pretty weak at this point, but next 9 months would have to handle that. Haley seemed to, with that done, Haley seemed to be handling some assorted issues. She is the mascot of the bar at this point, which has its ups and downs. Unfortunately, having a faunus mascot tends to lead to certain kind of attention. The racists were pretty easy to deal with. You can charge them exorbitant sums after they've drunk too much to realize they're getting scammed, and then you'll carefully trip them, making them spill drinks on the most reliable visitor and customer, Sister Lister the Mr. Fister. Nice. They don't come back. The real problem that rises up comes from the White Fang members that would occasionally come to the bar. Kicking them right out would cause problems with the entire organization, but Mako was at the ready to enact Rule 3 with a powerful fury. So, aside from having to carefully manipulate a whole bunch of people involving the bar, which I'll skip the, 200 words? 200 words covering that. Good God. I need to stop writing so goddamn much. The bar is thriving. Violent crime is lower than it used to be because Mako had indeed managed to accidentally start what was basically a criminal labor union. Handling everything from jobs, making sure that everyone's adequately well paid, no job is too stupid or going to harm anyone, that kind of thing. Gathering information is relatively easy since I have that magical laptop from the Pokemon trainer thing that's always connected to the internet. It's great. Also, because it's Pokemon laptop, it's in an OS that literally does not exist in this world, so no virus could ever be made without them actually gaining a handle on that. It's always safe. Bet you didn't think about that, did you, Sin?
He's got a point.
Jesus Christ.
The only other laptop that's like that is Bucks.
Yeah. The only person who could make a virus for this laptop, assuming that I don't lose the freaking laptop in the middle of a firefight, is me.
That's neat.
Buck only uses it to talk.
He does actually every now and again.
Yeah. That basically sets up the full 3 months. The organization is in place. It only needs a little bit of time before it expands even more. Almost used the wrong name. Mako is in charge of multiple businesses with multiple sources of income, is basically flooding with cash, all thanks to the magical system of being able to ship dust easily from Mistral.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you also read my Cosmic Warehouse section, that's right, I have Portal. I can create Portal. I can access my Cosmic Warehouse from anywhere, which means that I have one entrance in Vale and one entrance in Mistral. Hop, skip, and jump, and I'm literally moving between continents.
Jesus.
This really cuts down on shipping costs.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Alright, well now that we're done with your thing, which took a lot longer than I thought it would, Jesus Christ.
Dude, that was first 12 pages! How could you
That's
not
not
think
even-
that would take forever?
It's your brother. What do you
Yeah, I thought you would
expect?
shorten
both
it
are
down a
Also,
little
said
bit
I've
more.
been down here chasing the mountains.
Yeah, I noticed.
Oh yeah, you've been sketching over them.
Pretty decent.
Thanks, pretty neat.
Yeah. Anyways, so now to go on to a little bit of Buck's backstory, which will probably be a lot faster. Maybe.
I mean, technically, Buck only actually shows up in the world about 3 months in, more or less.
Yeah. So you get
Or is
shoved
that
in there
3
because you
weeks?
decided to jump out, so she didn't really make a time period for you, because she just was like, okay. And so you just
But
kind
you
of
are
jumped
somehow
in.
integrated into
As
the
a-
world.
As a punishment for ignoring her, I got thrown in later than everyone
Yeah,
else.
it's just, well, if you don't want to listen, you don't have fun with that. But anyways,
So Buck basically wakes up in the streets of Vale,
Mhm.
out cold, down an alleyway, wakes up, looking at himself going, I have hands again.
I mean, you had technical hands.
Oh yeah, because this one remembers. Yeah, you made this one to remember everything that's happened so far.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is the one that's mentally unstable to the fullest content, because shoving 3 lives back into a person's head would probably screw them up.
Especially
really
when
bad.
one of
And
those
that's
lives
why
is.
you recognize him.
So, when is this? Week 2? Mid-week
I
2?
think he's in month
This
3.
is. Yeah, I'm in like I forget if it was week 3 or month 3. I think it's month 3.
You've been here, like, you didn't get thrown
No.
Whoops.
in
Yeah,
month
yeah,
3.
yeah.
It was week
Not month
3.
3. It was week 3. Week 3. Sorry,
Yeah.
we were talking about this, so he has a bit better memory
Which
on this than I do at the
day
moment.
of week 3, because week 3 was still one of the early enough weeks that I handled it on a day-by-day basis.
Week 3, probably the mid-week of 3.
When's-
Go say probably.
Eight.
He doesn't really, and again, he spends about 3
Oops.
days kind of wandering about. So by the time he actually ends up at, gets some sip was like probably about Saturday to Sunday, almost into week 4.
Oh,
Is
good
probably
dog.
when he ends up there. His first day is basically spent wandering around the streets, being very confused. And no, he doesn't have the dye on his ears yet, so he's just a panther faunus, more or less, that isn't actually a faunus screaming at people, except they can't hear him because his telepathy doesn't work
wait.
on normal people.
So, yeah, it only works on the mentally insane. But still, how are you a faunus but not a faunus?
I
Because
think
the
he
body
took the
mod.
furry option in Body
He did.
Mod.
I went for this. I'm basically
so
I'm your
you're
sonar.
you're a panther via body mod. Okay.
So he is
Yes.
perfectly
I'm
human. But he's not
Just
human.
Except
Yeah. He
Yeah.
could try to explain to anyone that he's not actually a faunus and nobody would believe him. Except for the jumpers. And even then, some of the jumpers would probably just say, that's ridiculous and dumb. You're still a faunus. Shut up.
And then I would probably
no,
start beating
I
somebody
would
in
probably
the face.
recognize it because I only have knowledge that only I know about.
Anyway, Buck
Because
will
it's me,
continue
you know?
his randomness. So for about day 1, to keep this short, he's walking around kind of getting a gist of his body change, because he went from a very short Pokemon into a very tall Pokemon into 6 foot. It's confusing to him, and he
Just
doesn't
all of a
have-
sudden, height.
Yeah.
He does notice something in day 1. He accidentally grabs a sign when he nearly falls, because having to readjust to a leg that isn't exactly a stick
Mhm.
is kind of strange. He also notices there's buttons on it, but he really doesn't feel like pushing them. Well, let's actually roll for that, see what happens.
Oof.
He pushes one, but nothing happens because it was already pushed down, so he ignores it.
All right.
And he accidentally breaks a sign. because his hands legitimately break stuff, and he just kind of sitting with the sign in his hand going, well, crap. Well, crap.
Neat thing to know is that during week 3, Bernadette is currently actively looking for individuals that can potentially work for the group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the way Buck just ends up at your bar more or less because it's kind of one of the only places he can enter without.
Do you drop the sign before walking in the bar?
I mean, I'm not walking into the bar. I walk out into the woods first
okay.
because remember who Buck is. Buck does drop the sign, mainly because he's freaked out and he just chunks himself towards the woods, meaning just sprinting. Yeah, Buck can run in this one, by the way.
Which is nice.
Yeah, because he has the runner's leg now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not the only mode it has, but... So he runs out into the woods, and Sin, what do I end up running into? What kind of monstrous creature do I run into?
Alright.
What, Sin? Did you just not notice my tracing?
No, look at the number I rolled.
Huh.
Oh, boy.
This was the major line for Wednesday.
That cannot be fun.
Yeah.
That works.
So on this specific day, on this specific week, my character has already been written as Hunting Grim on the outskirts of Vale.
Let's see.
Yep, we somehow don't.
You fight.
Perfect. You're about to find each other there.
You fight an exceptionally large alpha.
Yeah, that's
Ursa.
the size of freaking Vale.
You fight an exceptionally large alpha Ursa. It's at least.
You rolled a nat 20 and then you put him against that. Good God.
Alright, fine. Well, I could put.
I wonder what he would have fought at a nat 1.
Could put Nevermore.
Freaking, what would he have fought at nat 1?
Probably a single baby Deathstalker. But anyways, here.
Why is the nat 1 so good for him, but the nat 20 is the worst?
Well, because this is
Buck is Buck.
Yeah, this is.
And I literally. Okay, so to explain, in Buck's stuff, he has horrible luck as one of his drawbacks.
So a nat 1 would be him not finding anything. He would just have a really boring day. Because that's the luck roll. See whether the higher it is, in this case, the more dangerous the enemy.
You have to be kidding. Yeah, I'm cursed. I have horrible luck. And that also means I have a Marshadow.
It's weird to see someone roll a luck roll and then the higher roll
Well, no,
is
it was a luck roll for the enemy. You see, if the enemy had good luck, it would be a really powerful enemy. If it was a bad luck,
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yes.
That's not how it should work. You want to know my evidence? I'm really freaking confused right now.
Alright, fine. When I roll a nat 20 on him running out into wilderness and finding something very dangerous, it's very dangerous. Next
time, just declare what's rolling, because when he ran out there, it sounded like it was a roll for his luck, and it wasn't. So
true.
Say next time, rolling for the opposite of his luck.
Fine, whatever. Anyways, so
basically rolling to see how bad his luck actually is. High would mean it's bad, low would mean it's good.
Oh, there we go.
That would make more sense.
Anyways, so he runs out there, and the very first thing he sees after running, I don't know, how far would you run? Pretty far? Decently far?
Approximately,
probably
yes.
middle. Yeah, mainly because also Buck was a hermit, so he kind of has the, oh, hey, I can climb trees, and I jump from trees a lot more effective than running.
Yeah, so you jump upon a bunch of trees. I mean, a lot of trees. But one thing you didn't, anticipate was you have a metal leg. Metal leg are kind of slippery, more or less, on trees, especially when they get smaller. So you manage to tumble slightly, and by the time that you hit the ground, you realize the ground was moving. And black.
Why is the ground moving?
And big.
Black, it's moving. What is this?
As you are now about 50
Sin,
feet in the sky.
Can you please phrase things a little bit better?
Okay, maybe I should be the one describing this.
You have fun.
Because apparently the English major student doesn't know how to word things.
Well,
Yes, right now you're currently standing upon a big black thing that's starting to move
the ground was very big and was moving and was black.
Does Buck even realize that he's on a giant bird? Because it's still Buck. He has a knowledge of animals, darn it. No, he is very confused what's going on because he's never seen something this big before.
Yeah, it's really, really big. Like, it's probably around 7 times your size, I would say.
Okay, this isn't good. Where am I? What is this?
I don't
I
see how high
don't.
you are. High as you're actually relatively low to the ground. Shockingly.
I don't like this though. Okay, let's see how Buck's mentality is working right now. He's calm-ish, for somebody that is literally flying against his will.
Yeah, it's kind of moving in circles around the forest, kind of low to the trees, oddly enough. It semi-notices your presence and is kind of annoyed by the fact that you just stomped on its back. But you're also kind of tiny, so...
Buck's immediate reaction is to, pull the thing that's been on his back all the time. And he notices it's a giant freaking axe. And he's confused. Why is this what's been on my back this entire time? Okay, I don't like this. I don't like you. Something tells me to stab you. Let's see how bad Duck... Because he actually messes up his weapon during this process.
Oof.
He tries to stab it, but he ends up activating the stinking whip function and ends up just kind of making a scratch and ends up somehow breaking his whip
Does it
function.
get annoyed?
So
High
now...
as it's very annoyed. Oh, it's annoyed now.
Well, this isn't
See,
good.
before you were a little pest. Now you're an annoying pest.
Buck's immediate reaction. Yeah. So wait, what? Wales is just watching this basically, more or less.
Yeah.
Probably.
The Nevermore is now spinning in circles in the air. It's barrel rolling through the air, trying to knock you off its back.
So far, staying on apparently. So Buck is...
How long has it been since it became visible?
Let's do 1d6. Not very long.
Okay, then I currently cannot aim well enough to target it. It'll be a little bit longer before I can even begin taking shots without running the risk of accidentally taking off your guys' head.
Yeah, I'm assuming, Buck, that you gripped onto its back in order to avoid being thrown off.
I'm more or less on its back, and you probably don't even realize that's Buck, given the bird's probably 7 times the size of Buck.
Yeah.
Right now, Mako is just assuming that the person on the back of the Nevermore is an idiot hunter who got in way over their head.
Yeah, it's currently spinning. Which is...
Yeah, Buck would be screaming if anyone could hear him. So all somebody may be able to hear is just wind. Because he doesn't have vocal cords. There is no...
Do you have...
I have Monster Hunter.
You do, that's nice. Alright, you do not have motion sickness, though, so that's good for you, because right now, if you had that, you would be throwing up all over its spine. Because, yeah, it's spinning at, Mach 2, trying to get you off of it.
Question, though. If it's spinning at Mach 2, do I pass out?
You're getting close. But you're still holding on to its back. Your hand grip is obscene.
Apparently this shot from 2 miles away is a bit troublesome. Still can't take it.
Yeah, so you're right now on this thing's back, violently trying to stay awake. As you're spinning in a circle throughout the air as it's semi-close to the ground, and, I don't know, what is the word? Squawking, I guess, would be this thing? I don't know. Screaming? I don't know. As it's trying to get you off of its back.
Yeah. As this continues for a little bit, Buck is just I don't want to be here anymore, and he just again he has to make the conscious decision to let go. Sadly, Buck's hands being Buck's hands and being a Trico at one point and a hermit who gained the ability to latch onto things because Carnivines and other carnivorous Pokemon being below him at times. He accidentally grabs onto one of the spines, and let's see what happens. Ooh. I hope I get a 20 here.
Oh.
He gets a 7. It just kind of falls out, and Buck is now falling very quickly to the ground.
Does the bird see you? High is good. It does not see you in the slightest. It just thinks you're still on its back and just starts flying away, spinning in a circle.
Still can't quite take the shot.
Do you do anything to make it irritate at you again?
Me?
Yeah. As it is now, just...
I mean, it's not like he can shout out freaking 12 herbs and spices, mother flipper.
Yeah, no. So Buck is now falling with a half-broken weapon, more or less. And now he's falling how many feet?
3d6? Actually, 1d6. Pretty far. Yeah,
Fortunately,
weren't-
there's a lot of trees to break your fall.
Yeah.
And you're
you weren't
back.
relatively high up, but relatively high up on that kind of bird is still pretty high up.
Alright, see if I can make a decent landing. No. I crashed through those trees hard, and now
Oh,
Buck
that
is
must
going,
hurt.
I don't want to be out here anymore. I like trees and all, but no.
Does it hear you?
Ah!
Oh boy.
How could it hear me?
Well, you just hit
How
through
could it
like
hear me?
20 trees.
Yeah, the crashing of the tree tops.
I guess that makes sense. So now Buck's down below, running
Freaking
for his
gun
life
jams
more or
before I
less.
can take the shot.
Barely.
Let's see
Oh,
if
that
Buck...
idiot's dead.
I would say that's a successful, dodge.
Yeah, you managed to dodge its pecking as it's just constantly slamming its face down next to you. And even though it's now landed on the ground, Wally still cannot get even the closest point to shoot it.
No, it's my gun jammed, so I'm
Oh.
gonna need to take an entire round just to unjam it.
He's just trying to fix this stupid weapon. And this bird is slamming its
see how
face
this
down
goes.
next to you.
Buck is unable to attack. He's kind of freaked out right. Wait a minute.
Hmm.
Sin, was that low enough?
Ooh, yes, boy. Well, 1d100.
Let's see what bad luck happens. Ooh, what's that? See, 64.
Should.
Time to pull out ye old menu.
That's, huge.
You gotta start.
I don't have the chart. What is that?
Hey, Wally. See, that was 61. Drop.
64. Can you send me the chart?
Oh my god. I'm just gonna let him do this section here. I'm gonna let him have
So-
control.
DM me
Buck.
the chart.
In his immediate panic, breaks back to Pokemon and drops his weapon. And the only thing he can think of is, I must do push-ups, and starts just ramming them out. Except he's
Oh
also
my
pelvic thrusting at the same time for some odd reason. Again, this
Huh.
is
You say
wrong.
you
This
turned
is
back
supposed to
into
be.
Pokemon?
No,
like
Buck
yeah.
and it goes.
he thought back.
So,
to
by the way, this is
Pokemon
also
games.
supposed to be push-ups. This is also supposed to be
Oh, is
push-ups,
it?
not
Okay.
the pelvic.
Let me change that
Yes.
real quick then.
Well, my gun's unjammed, but I'm not actually. I'm still looking to try and target where you guys are after having a
I've
look at
got
it.
it changed. Yeah, he's just doing push-ups now in an attempt to be intimidating because his brain just broke in half again.
I mean, to be fair, if a Grim, like the Grim, can still see you, but they can sense emotions, and it's probably
They're
confused,
also much
isn't it?
smarter now, because of Ron.
Yeah.
Although it's only slightly
and me.
affected here because yeah, about 3 months from Ron, he's inside of it's only slightly effective here. 3 weeks, sorry. Yeah, only slightly affected.
Is it confused though why this random hunter, or not really a hunter, random creature is
yeah.
now just doing push-ups, and its emotional state is confusing at best.
Well, I'm going to roll again because I don't know what I was rolling there for. But high is it's exceptionally confused, and low is it's not confused at all. It's kind of confused. It stops its attack for a moment, just kind of staring at you.
Oh, good. If it paused, that means I get a roll to see if I can actually freaking finally aim. Oh,
You can't. It's just like
Target is-
staring at you now.
target is locked.
Nice.
Not able to fire just yet because this is a little bit of a distance.
Yep. But you can, in fact, hit for the next shot. So you don't even have to roll the shot. You just have to roll the damage, which is...
Buck is not moving. Buck is just kind of now just sitting there going, I'm gonna die.
Jesus. Is this a two-handed weapon?
My axe?
No, his.
No, it's a one-handed. It's
Mine. Mine's two-handed, yeah.
Okay, so you roll a 4d6.
Though, to be fair, it's two-handed, and it's also using the high-power gravity dust bunker buster rounds.
Roll 5d6. Anyways,
5d6?
Yeah.
Okay, I will once,
Yeah.
I still need to wait for the
it's
Nevermore to
going
take its
to
turn.
see whether or not it wants to attack you. It starts moving its head forwards, almost hesitant to touch whatever it is that you are made of.
Oh, good.
It's like kind of hesitant to touch you.
Buck is just terrible.
Oh, that's not that good of a roll.
I mean, normal damage is 1d6 to 2d6, right?
Let's see. 4 attackers.
So-
1 is -1, 2 is no, 3 is no, 4 is 1, 5 is 1, 6 is 2.
Oh, right. We're using that system,
Yeah.
aren't we?
So, you did 1 damage. I think. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. 1 damage.
Weird.
But did you manage to
I mean,
irritate it? No. Doesn't know.
I mean, well, just as a heads up, the time, like the I don't know, 6 rounds I took to aim means that is technically a bunker buster round to its
Oh,
face.
that's fair. Roll a d20. If it gets above a 10, it's gonna hurt. You get to roll no 2d6. Alright, roll no 2d6.
You know, now that it occurs to me, it, like, technically speaking, a shot like this is a bit weird. We never discussed what happens in, like obviously if you get hit in the chest with
Mm-hmm.
a normal ranged weapon, you roll for the damage to see if it's significant.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you have a guaranteed shot through someone's skull with an explosive round?
That's fair.
I
Oh,
assume
wait,
their
no,
skull
wait,
would
that
go
even-
flat.
Or attacks? Oh, I mean, technically, yeah, I guess I missed with the majority of my shots. My one shot missed almost completely.
That's fair. Okay.
My guaranteed hit is not a guaranteed.
Oh, you're right.
That's-
That would be a guaranteed hit. Again, folks,
Yeah.
viewers who are watching this,
Yeah, it's a new
yeah,
system.
it's a new system, so we're still working out some kinks. Yeah.
So now the question becomes, if we have something like let's say that an individual would normally they'd get hit
Mhm.
and they take damage. Normally, your normal attack is going to try to hit it,
Mhm.
and if you roll too low, you don't actually hit. Or if you have a whole bunch of dice, then the damage isn't significant enough.
Mhm.
But then you have instances like, let's say that someone's literally standing on a crate of dust and they blow it up. Yes, it is possible that your rolls will be such that you do 0 damage with a point-blank explosion. But that doesn't make much sense, does it?
No, but I don't know how to fix that.
Anyway, let's continue.
So, I suppose it would have to be, it wouldn't be possible to miss. It would probably slant all of your rolls, so it'd be, anything that's a 1 would still be a miss,
Mhm.
but the 2s and the 3s would probably still be hits if you have a guaranteed hit.
That could work. Okay. So that's
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, that's 4. Almost kills it. Almost kills it.
1, 2, 3, 4, then -1 is 3, then the 3 and the 2 means 5. Cool.
Can Buck get away?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
no,
Buck
okay,
is
that's dead.
just
still not enough to kill it. So,
Oh,
wait,
no, because
really?
it's bigger. Sorry.
Yeah, it's freaking, the thing's abnormally
Yeah.
huge, dude. It should have more health than that.
So it's almost dead, kind of. What Buck
but here's
does
the thing,
see.
Sin. Do you remember how I have marked, meaning that all Grim immediately want
Do
to
you have
aggro me?
marked?
And while I might have been out of range before, I just freaking shot the thing in the
Do you
face.
have marked? Where's your
I have
drawbacks?
marked. Check my drawbacks. It's the top one, right next to by my shoulder. Ha.
I need to move all your drawbacks and stuff over. I'll do that later.
I mean,
but
I did send you the
you did send me it.
TXT, right? Because I hate TXTs, but it's in there.
Yep, it's in
It's the very topmost section right underneath my name.
oh, you do have marked. Okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
So, anytime I try to fight, I pull aggro,
That is true.
despite being ranged squishy.
Alright, so he's at a much larger range, but, Buck, what you see is essentially a ginormous bird staring at you after you start doing push-ups to an extreme point, being very confused before half of its entire body gets lit up in a gigantic fire display, and by that I mean it's now just exploded off of it. And its head,
Oh,
Whoa.
should be fire.
Turns.
Remember, I'm using gravity rounds.
yeah, its head completely, turns to the side. You are no longer even in its existence right here before it practically screams and starts getting ready to charge the squishy.
Alright, so
I'm gonna
Buck's
roll to
reaction.
see how quickly I can actually reload. Nope.
Continue. Oh god.
Buck's immediate reaction to this is, Wales, all you see is this tiny little chain just start going around like the giant thing's neck, and it just all you hear is, "Ka!" Wait, let's see. Oh, you want me to roll for this?
Well, just don't say it
With a
died,
nat-
because
Yeah,
it's
with a
dead.
nat 20, it would probably be that. Like a nat 20 would probably be one of those guaranteed hits where only ones are.
You just hear a very loud snapping noise, and the thing just collapses.
Yeah, it's dead.
And the chains slowly just fall. Because, you know, these... Yes. Sorry, Brutal Legends
Yeah,
is
no,
awesome.
it like
Yes.
popped up in my head too. It's like, boosh.
Decapitation!
Yeah. Now you have the worry of a gigantic head the size of like 3 of you falling towards you. However, expecting it to hit, you also notice that it started dissipating almost immediately after disconnecting from its body, and so you just get hit by a wave of air.
That felt weird. I'm going back inside. Let's see. Buck's having a... Okay, Buck at first has a hard time trying to get the weapon to kind of be one weapon again, but he gets it eventually and puts it back on his back and walks back inside Vale, visibly injured, and that was basically his Monday. Or Wednesday, technically, but for him it felt like a Monday.
Kind of terrified
So for the next day...
of the giant bird head almost hitting you.
This is not going to... So that next day, there isn't really anything too major. He kind of goes around town trying to find a place to sleep that night and ends up just getting nearly arrested for human indecency, even though because reasons for some odd reason. Apparently, exposed arms is very indecent at night.
Sorry.
You're good.
So Buck is a little confused. Ends up the next day just kind of wondering about, trying to figure things out for himself. He learns a little bit, not much, but... And then he walks...
you're about to walk in? Okay.
And then he walks into this very strange under construction bar, kind of, and he just goes and sits down at the bar.
Does he see the name?
He sees it's called "Come Get Some Sip," and he's kind of... Let's see how confused he is about that. He legitimately is like, why? He's more disappointed in the name than anything, but he doesn't really care because he's hungry, tired, and in pain.
The pang of pain through the heart of Mako is only slightly agonizing as he realizes deep in within his soul that clearly someone disapproved of his naming schema. Monster.
He doesn't really care though, and he walks in, sits down at the bar, and is now just sitting there. As he looks at the bartender's, I guess if you want to act as your cohorts for a minute.
In walks in the bartender, who looks at you somewhat casually before asking, "What's your order?"
Buck looks at him, giving him this kind of... Okay, her. Buck looks at her, kind of trying to figure out, and he tries to do sign language just for whatever's decent on the menu.
She pauses for a moment before handing over a pad and paper. "I don't speak sign."
He nods his head in an understanding and writes, "Does he know the language of these people?"
As I recall, languages are auto-translate. It's mentioned inside of the original document.
Okay, so he ends up just going, "Do you have some brisket and some potatoes?"
She reads over it.
Oh no.
We do.
What the fuck is a brisket?
He looks at her and just points his hand out before just smashing his head on the thing.
It's a moment's pause. You have the money to pay for that?
He checks his bag and pulls out a small amount of money, enough to pay for it. And he puts it on the thing.
All right. I'll get right to it. At that, she walks in the back, and you hear some vague shouting. You assume it's some sort of order or something.
Well, that could be worse. This place is loud, but it ain't that bad, I guess. It's better than most places I've seen today.
Got a question. How conscious is he of all the people around him?
Roll D20. Not very.
He does not give a single crap about anyone else. Buck hates people to begin with because of the Pokemon jump.
His perception of everyone else is I have my food eventually. That's it.
He's in pain because, falling on his back from hundreds of feet probably didn't feel that great.
No.
Granted, he is noticing that it's slowly healing itself, so he doesn't really care.
Mhm.
He's just in pain and he wants something to eat. And this is the only place that didn't give him weird looks when he tried to walk in. So he doesn't care.
Okay. After a minute or so, out walks the same bartender who looks over you. You happen to be looking for work?
Buck looks at her, grabs the food from her hand, places it down, takes a bite, looks at her, and nods his head yes.
We're looking for a courier of sorts. Someone just carries some stuff from place to place. The pay's not great, but rules are that if you work for the bar, you get paid by the bar, which means discounts. Don't know why he phrases it like that.
He looks at her, takes a moment, starts taking a bite, grabs the potato with his hand, and just chomps into it. Stops for a moment, looks at her again, and writes down, "If you pay me in food, I'll happily do it."
Done.
And thus, a friendship was born.
Shockingly.
Wait, was that Bernadette?
That was Bernadette.
Fair enough.
All right.
So he's looking at her going, all right, writing this down as he goes, what do you want me to do?
Well, it's a pretty simple job. She pulls out a small letter. Once you go to the docks, you're going to find someone, a faunus. You're going to be looking for someone with a lion's tail. Once you meet up with them, just make sure that their name is... Oh god, what did I even name them?
His name has been forgotten.
Let's just call him Scar.
Oh god.
Ask him if he knows a guy named Scar, and if he responds by correcting you on the name, then you've got the right guy. Give him the letter and come on back.
All right,
Simple enough job, right?
Buck looks at her as he's taking kind of the last bite of the thing, pulls out his flask, opens it up, and just swigs. Puts it down for a second, looks at the letter, looks at her, kind of more or less in writing, kind of rehearses what she just said to him, and picks up the letter and leaves, leaving his flask there because he'll be back.
All right.
About, want to skip ahead about 3 weeks?
Sure. See, this was
It took him 3 weeks to find this guy.
Not quite.
No.
So that falls into a section.
What it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Week 6, you're getting a fair few jobs out of there, but you do note that this week, Bernadette seems to be constantly on edge.
Buck's sitting down, kind of his typical spot. It's kind of away from most of things, but it's just out of the way of the door, far enough away from people, but not far enough away that it's noticeable. Like it's hidden behind everything. So he basically hides in that corner, more or less.
Yeah.
It's his spot. He tends to always sit there. Bernadette comes up to him constantly because, again, his job.
Yeah.
What's up, boss?
She pauses for a moment before handing another object forward. This time, though, it's a bit of a larger box, clearly labeled on the top, "Fragile. Don't drop this, Buck."
Buck looks at her going, where am I heading?
You know of the shop Mecha Shift?
Yeah.
Head to the south. Well, once you get there, meet up with the guy who is currently in charge of it. He should respond to the name Silver. Hand him that box.
That it?
Wait. No, if he's not there, then there's someone named Frost. Hand it to her.
Oh, okay. Anything else I should know about this box before I go?
She points right at the words right across the top. Don't drop it.
I won't drop it unless I have to beat somebody, i.e. break a shin or two.
If you drop it, there's a very solid chance that the surrounding city block will literally go up in flames. Don't drop it.
Hey, she should be glad that it's not Ron taking it.
Continuing, I'll try not to drop it. I'll let you know how the job goes. If you hear something explode, I don't know.
You'll know that I dropped it.
Yeah, more or less.
If that explodes, I'm docking your pay, but only the brisket parts.
Buck looks at her with the eyes of somebody that basically just tried to kill his best friend. That isn't him doing it with his own hands. Yes, he's talking about you, Ron.
So, at that though, she gets up. You notice that she keeps checking over her shoulder before she heads back to the bar.
Wonder what's got her on edge. So as Buck is going to start delivering this thing, we get the first, well, I guess technically the second instant of Buck having a bad time.
Oh dear.
Jesus.
Buck's walking down. See, Buck gets out of the bar, walks about halfway through the town, is about near the other side of town when we get a certain strict military man. The one they call the Iron Wood. And Buck is being Buck and hating people and hating generally everything, but also knowing that he's not exactly the best guy, tries to avoid this man as best he can by, well, keep walking. He gets stopped by one of his bots.
Sir, we have the subject.
Ah, crap. Alright, let's see how this goes. And Buck being Buck, frankly just grabs the thing's arm and going, and with only a face you could assume that just says, "Don't touch me," breaks the entire bot with his one hand free.
Sir,
Again,
you do realize that this is Atlas personnel?
Atlas property.
Atlas property.
Buck looks at the man and just keeps trying to walk away.
Sir, I am talking to you.
Buck continues to walk.
He puts his hand on your shoulder, which effectively stops you, which kind of surprises you.
That's a first in a while.
I was talking to you.
Are we gonna have to start rolling now?
And let's see.
Game,
give me the worst possible roll. Give me a 13. Okay, that's not great. Buck's immediate reaction is to kick backwards into a somersault that keeps him kind of there.
So basically, Buck's initial reaction is to buck.
More or less, yes, except it's more into a, oh, hey, I'm aiming for your chin and doing a spin with it so I can get the most momentum and getting away. But it doesn't really work. It just kind of hits him and just
iron jaw.
You kick him in the chin, and he looks at you before using your own momentum to practically shove your head into the ground.
Hey, so how's that box in his hand doing?
Not great. You can feel it vibrating. Granted, Buck also being Buck and this part being kind of scripted, mentally he doesn't really feel great because he's now looking at the box and now he's upset.
Your head also really hurts.
And he opens his mouth to scream, but instead of screaming, it's just a green-ish substance that's floating.
He immediately jumps
and then
backwards.
Buck is standing, kind of freaking out at this point and going, "What is this?" And his eyes have gone green as well. This is a fun fact. Buck's eyes change color with his semblance because I thought it'd be fun. And then the entire city block explodes, taking down multiple buildings, and Buck is running with kind of what's left of the contents. I mean, there's still a little bit, but it's not much. The Frost person is going to look at Buck like he's an idiot, while Buck is kind of more or less on fire and angry.
I think you're going to need to roll a d20 on the contents of that box.
Let's see how much is left.
Oh boy. Okay, so you can definitely feel it vibrating inside, and it is really, really making you feel uneasy. Especially if the vibrating seems to be slowly speeding up.
Oh, great. Yeah, but some of that contents got out and mixed with Buck's breath, which caused the entire block to explode.
Yeah, not a happy time for Ironwood.
Yes, so everything's exploding now. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So Buck's now just running for his life, trying to get this thing to where he needs to get it. How How graceful is he being? Let's see.
Oh.
He is tripping every few feet because
Dude,
agony.
you're practically blowing up buildings at this point, just breathing on them. You're tripping
He's
everywhere.
breathing, and since he's tripping, his semblance is going off without him really realizing what it is because it's just freaking him out. So he's trying to run from that as well, and it's just not going well. And across the city, you just hear boom, 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 and
Meanwhile, at Come Get Some Sip, there's just a lot of sighing every
like Bernadette sighing. What are other people's reaction just in the bar in general?
See, despite the fact that it's the middle of the afternoon, there are a fair few people too drunk to really realize what's going on, and a couple of the others are assuming that it's some weird attack. You know, the hunters do leave, but you know, most of the civvies are staying around.
Bernadette's sighing with her head in her hands, probably going, "He's an idiot."
Yep. On the upside, though, she can tell that based on the sounds of the explosions going further and further, you're still holding the box. You didn't drop it.
So you eventually managed to get to the Dust to Dust place, which the owner is very terrified of.
At that point, the vibrating is pretty much all done. It stopped exploding.
And Buck is no longer, exuding a poisonous explosive substance from his face.
Standing outside is a particularly tall woman with just completely white hair, looking rather entertained, if anything, at you.
Is she taller than Buck? Because Buck's 6 foot. Is she bigger than him?
She's 6'9".
Buck walks up to her with the thing, looks up at her, kind of just defeated at this point, slaps the case on her chest, more or less, and walks away into an alleyway. And, Buck being Buck, just kind of just goes, sits in a shadow for a bit and just laments the pain.
She shakes her head. Syl is going to flip, isn't he? Before going inside. Also, you didn't verify who that was,
Yeah, granted, I kind of made her name is Frost, she's bigger than I am, she looks like she works here, I'm done. Walks away because he's pissed off at that point because his brisket just got cut because some random dude.
Alright, so we're going to fast forward the next 3 months real quick. Any particular points you want to get across?
Well, we definitely need to talk about, these two meetings.
Yeah,
because that's an entire
that's why I want
section.
to fast forward to that point because we're at an hour and 20 minutes now.
Alright, well,
I have to cut this in half.
After finally working off enough that you're getting paid in a normal amount of brisket now, only took the last all of the time, you finally managed to get back into Bernadette's good graces enough that she tells you that it's time for you to meet the boss.
The who now? I thought you were the boss.
She scoffs. No. I'm the boss of Get Some Sip. I'm not the boss.
Oh, okay. So you're just a lackey of the boss, and I'm your
lieutenant.
Lieutenant. You're the lieutenant of this person, and I'm your lackey, your little delivery boy.
You are the lackey, lieutenant. Yes.
Okay. So, anything I need to know about this before I go in?
No. I'm pretty sure that whatever happens in there, oh boy, it's going to be wonderful.
Oh.
She seems smug as she leads you further into the back of Get Some Sip.
Yeah, at this point, so Buck is dyeing his ears and tail to kind of hide from Ironwood.
Yeah, okay. As you reach the back of Get Some Sip, you spot a fellow in very Eastern-inspired clothing, wearing what appear to be some rather oddly designed shades. They are literally shaped like giant stars. For fun.
Okay.
Currently, his hands folded in front of him, fingers crossed, staring at you full Gendo pose style.
Buck's immediate brain reaction, and since no one can hear him, his psychic stuff has been going off whenever.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Amako gestures to the seat in front of him. Come on, sit down.
Okay. Buck cautiously takes a seat, mainly because he's just weirded out.
Mm-hmm.
Bernadette stands near the door. So, you were, what did Bernadette say? Oreist? Am I pronouncing that right?
Buck nods. Oreist Buck. For some reason, he pulls up this thing, says that. So I just go with it.
Is he saying anything like in mental speak or anything, or is it just going along while writing?
He's writing right now because he doesn't realize that you can hear him in his head.
You look kind of familiar. Oh my god. Were you that dude fighting that Nevermore a couple back?
Buck slams his hands down. Wait, how did you see that? That was so embarrassing.
Was that shouted over mentally? Because it doesn't sound like you wrote it down.
Yeah, he straight up just shouted that in his head.
Mako jerks back. Was that your semblance? Because I'm not a fan of people in my head there, man.
Wait. You can hear me.
Yes? Yeah, Wait. You sound very familiar.
You gotta be kidding me! Somebody can finally hear me! Wait.
How's your leg?
It's a stump.
Well now, Oh, this is wonderful. How in the hell did Bernadette even find you? Okay.
I've walked in very rugged after the Nevermore.
Neat. Do you recognize me?
I have no idea who you are. The only thing I can realize is that you can hear me.
Okay, so there's a reason for that. Amako slowly takes off his sunglasses. Maybe you'll recognize the line, "Bestest buddy."
You have to be kidding. Wales! Wally! What?
Yep, I go by Mako now. Oh my god, how...
Okay, how are you... You're an idiot! How are you running a business?
First off, thank you. Second off, for businesses, thank you. And third, it's a long story.
But you were... What? Okay, one, you were... But you were such an idiot! How?
Well, after my first jump, during the Pokemon trainer thing, I realized that being a genuinely good person is hard. I'm terrible at it. Not as bad at being a bad person, but good lord, that first jump taught me a very important lesson. Turns out, if I make people hurt, I start feeling bad in my heart pit. It was really weird. So, for my second jump, I decided, hey, why not kick back, relax, not even think about anything, just have some fun with it, save who I could, and, I don't know, maybe a couple illegal naps here and there. Came off as a bit of an idiot. It was really fun, though.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're a lot smarter than you actually seem.
Oh yeah, no, this is not my first time being part of a criminal enterprise.
Gotcha. Okay, so explain. Okay, so I've been working for Bernadette, who's been working for you this entire time.
Yeah.
And you're the one who's... goodness. Okay. So you're not actually an idiot. You were a criminal enterprise maker, more or less. You run this place somehow. I ended up here somehow in some coincidence. Maybe jumpers are drawn to each other. And why am I here now? Why am I here now?
Think about it like this. What do you go by? Oraish, Buck?
I'd still just Buck. Oraish is just something that's written on that thing. I think it's something to do with...
It's the color naming rule. It's complicated stuff. Everyone's named after a color here. Your official documentation says that you're Oraish. So,
all right.
Let's go by Buck.
Yeah.
Cyril, he hates his full name, so he always goes with a shortened one. Anyway, were you seriously the one who exploded his way through a chunk of veil?
Fuck, slams his head. Yeah, that was me.
Man.
I may have had to run in with, they call him Ironwood, and
Yeah,
I broke one of his bots when it tried to stop me because my hands are a bit iffy.
see, that's one of the reasons I called you in here. Along with the fact that I realized I'd never met you, but you're basically Bernadette's right-hand man at this point. She keeps throwing so many jobs at you.
Yeah, it's actually because I messed up that job. She's been throwing them at me with about half my pay for a long time. Just the last job I did was actually back at full pay again, which was nice because I've been really hungry.
Yeah, I can guess. Well, basically, I called you in here, not realizing who you were, to give you a promotion.
Oh, dear goodness. Okay. What do you want me to do?
Well, you know how you've been a courier this entire time, ferrying things across Vale?
Yep.
Well, you're gonna help courier. No, you're gonna keep being a courier. The difference this time, and oh god, I don't even have to go through the complicated fake backstory for this. I can tell you just what I told the lieutenants. Here's the thing. You know my cosmic warehouse?
Yeah, the thing that everyone has.
Yeah, you know my how I have portals that can open them up anywhere I want?
You have that? I can just open up one.
Okay. Well, I can open up two. One of them's here in Vale. The other's in Mistral.
You're carrying across countries without actually having to pay anything.
Oh yeah. Gotta say, it really saves on shipping costs.
That explains how our prices are low.
Yeah, I can undercut just about anyone. It's beautiful.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Still, basically, I just need you to ferry some business, a little bit of stuff through to and from Mistral. Little things, crates.
Okay.
Sin, you were mentioning
enough.
something?
Yeah. So we're about at the end at this point, I think. So I'm assuming that his job goes about well, since it's just currying some stuff over.
Well, I mean, technically, yeah. We've just started on month 4, and then there's 5 and 6, and then we're done.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we can do one or two things right now, because I've got to go. We can either have it be so we do 5 and 6 next time with the other months after you guys meet Ron, or we can just fast forward through 5 and 6 right here.
Well, I think we can just really quickly go through 4, 5, and 6. 4 is basically a whole bunch of stuff involving figuring out how to do armor and weapon fittings with dust type effects, and more powerful dust rounds, dust infusion of metal legs, blah blah blah. Dust branch opens in Mistral.
Yeah, they repair my weapon. I learn about the other functions of my leg, i.e., the combat stance and the just hey, I'm trying to walk around, not sprint everywhere I go.
Month 6 is the only one that needs to be handled in detail, and that's just because, as I was discussing with Walrus before, we basically ditch the surrounding area because of some bad happenings with the family in Vale, and what ends up happening is we spend a month basically ruining Haven Academy's reputation and a lot of other stuff, targeting Lionheart specifically during the 6th month. We can go over that in more detail a little later.
So we'll do it on Wednesday, I think, with Ron's group as well. So we'll go into a little bit of detail, probably a little bit before the thing with Ron's group, and then we'll go through Ron's group on Wednesday.
Okay. By the way, Sin, how in the world did you think that this would go down quickly?
I did Ron's entire thing much quicker than this.
Did Ron write 6,258 words detailing it?
No, but that's why I said to
in
shorten
an entire
it.
afternoon.
With mine, it didn't need an over excessive backstory because it was literally just the character I've been using up to now just jumps into it, and it's like, hey, I got big sword. Oh look, crater.
Yeah, the thing with like Wales though is that he isn't, or Mako.
Wales
is that he tends to be very well. At least Corin tends to be very thorough.
Yes.
Yeah. Same way. So we'll get through the rest of it on the next and final episode of this stuff.
And that's when we I guess that's when we begin the series proper.
Yep, we'll do it on Wednesday. Actually, well, we'll do the series proper next Monday. So on the 14th, you guys will be seeing all this fun stuff. On 21st, you'll be seeing the actual I suppose actually they'll be seeing this on the 14th. This being seeing the thing, and on the 28th, you guys will be seeing the very first episode thing. On the 22nd, we'll be doing the series proper. I believe I got that right. Did I get that right? No, 15th. 15th, I'll be doing the series proper. 28th, I'll be posting it. But anyway, so hopefully you guys...
I changed my name, guys.
I'm not going to awaken my mess. Yeah, well, I have awoken already, so there you go. But anyways, hopefully...
Joke's on you. I'm making a Jar Jar's reference.
Jeez. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know this one went on a little bit longer than I had hoped and expected it to, but hopefully it doesn't...
And it still isn't even done.
Yeah, I know, it's not even done. Jesus. But anyway, so on the left should be annotations to the other Jumpchain episodes. If you guys want to watch the villain one, which will have more of the Mistral consonant, as well as the Atlas consonant, go check that out. And if you guys want the full playlist with all the heroes, villains, and the other two... series, go check that out on the left, and on the right should be all three of our channels. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this stuff, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Auf Wiedersehen.
Sure.